imagine I'm earning 100,000 naira in company A. Then I now go and interview in company B. Then I was asked what my expectation was. Then I said my expectation is 1 million naira. Does that track?
That is actually an exaggerated amount.
So we're about to talk about something that a lot of people don't like. It causes a lot of controversy. Submitting pay slips during recruitment or requesting pay slips during recruitment
processes.
So that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Yay!
And you can see us that we're representing you guys so well.
Yes!
Happy International Women's Day. Happy National Women's Day.
Happy International Women's Day.
So the theme for this year, as you know, is give to gain. So what are you giving me to, and what are you gaining?
We'll do that after behind cameras.
I'll
give you what I want.
It's
you that we brought something for.
Yes, we are giving you the gifts of this
our podcast
information.
So you have to gain by receiving it and subscribing.
Yes, no, they have to gain by subscribing first.
You have to gain by subscribing first.
Yes.
And so when you subscribe first, it means you've gained.
Exactly.
So have you hit the subscribe button?
Welcome to the Expat Explorer, your number one employment podcast, your best employment podcast in the world.
Yeah.
Where we talk about everything employment, the facts, the myth, and everything in between.
That's right.
My name is Aisha.
And my name is Midday.
Okay, so as we said, today we are going to be talking about requesting for pay slips during recruitment
process.
Does it really track? Why is it requested? Is it normal? Is it legal? Are you allowed to ask for it? People that ask for it, why do they need it? That's what we're going to be discussing today.
And employers will be saying things like, we're just trying to stay consistent. We are not going to use it to make certain decisions like whether we want to hire you or not. In fact, personally, I've experienced it where I was in an interview and they asked me what I'm currently earning. I just said it. But I didn't expect them to now dismiss me or reject me based off that particular information that I provided. But whilst that is not the pay slip, right, we are going to be expounding on not just the pay slip, but also, recruiters demanding for pay information, during the recruitment process. Should it be allowed? Should they ask for? Is it necessary? Is it an information you ought to provide? Stay tuned because we're going to be diving deep into this particular conversation based on personal experience, global standards, and what we think you should actually do when next an employer or a recruiter asks for such information.
I think most employers I don't want to say hide, but always just say like they're asking just to know, because there are a lot of like you mentioned the other time, exaggerated compensation. Like when I first said, like, imagine I'm earning 100,000 naira in company A, then I went through recruitment in company B, then I'm asking them for 1 million naira. I know, like, okay, maybe I'm too sure of myself, but it's kind of exaggerated. That's like how many percent more than what I'm currently earning.
Exactly.
So employers would usually say, they want this information to avoid that kind of issue. But it doesn't really track like that, because for an organization, you should have your own structure in place. You should have your own salary structure in place that doesn't need that you don't need validation from external companies or like payslip from someone to maybe kind of lowball somebody because maybe the person's earning this amount and what was expected for them to be earned is way higher than what they were currently earning. Then you lowball them because of what you've known. That's not a good. That's not the way to use
best practice.
Yeah, to use that, because your current pay is determined by a lot of things.
Actually.
Yeah, it could be like, maybe the amount you first started earning when you started working. It could be many different things. So it shouldn't be used to lowball candidates.
And we're not even trying to villainize any employer or try to glorify any employee in these conversations. We just want to unpack and unravel the why. Is it even necessary? Why? Why are you... recently I was talking about a course or a training that I participated in, and they talked about data privacy. And some of the things that they discussed was legal basis, the legal basis for requesting for certain information. And from that conversation, I realized that if an information is not relevant to the end course, it is illegal to ask for that information. So I think this is now pointing it out to both the employers and the recruiters. Why are you asking for the pay slip? Why are you asking for the person's current earning? Are they informations that you need? I think that brings us to the conversations around, why some people actually ask.
Yeah.
It's because based on experience, I know why some employers ask for pay slip.
Yeah.
Right. But I don't know why some others ask for pay slip. So for some persons, they ask for the pay slips because during the course of conversations with candidates tend to exaggerate what their earnings are. And they exaggerate those earnings. Whilst I don't buy it as a justifiable reason. Right, I still think that employers who are unable to purchase reports on salaries, salary report across different organizations or different industries, those companies that are unable to buy those data, they would rather depend on information gotten from candidates. So they compare based on the labor market when they interview a candidate, and a candidate is overpriced. When they now compare it to what their budget is, right, they might not want to, they might want to take on the candidate, but given that the candidate is overpriced, they would want a more validating information to help them know whether the candidate was being truthful about that information or not. You get. More so, like I said, I'm totally against it because I know that you have to trust both of you, both the employer and the employee. You have to trust yourself in the entire recruitment process. So if you don't trust me enough to ask me for my salary information and do your own background check, so I don't think you should ask me for my payslip. But most likely, that is why some persons ask for the payslip.
Yeah.
Another reason I found out is that people ask for payslip because they have a very rigid structure. So take, for instance, if you are going to the bank, and I'm sorry to the bankers, because I keep on saying but really, the bank is one exceptional institution because they are to the latter, to the data, to the end of this earth, they are very structured.
Yes.
And maybe because they are being governed by CBN and some other regulatory bodies, but I give them the thumbs up for always sticking to their structure. Right. And so if you are going to work in a banking structure, one of the things they will request for is how much you are earning. And the reason why they're asking for that information is because they have a salary band. If you've watched any of our episodes at, sometime last year, we spoke about how organizations group their salaries into different bands. So according to different levels, each level have different bands. So for you to be properly placed, there are certain elements that contribute to those placements. Number one could be your years of experience. And given that Nigeria is a system that does not structurize to the latter, the remuneration system across different industries, that's why you can have some people in tech with 5 years experience having to be paid 5 million naira on a monthly basis, while some other people are earning 500,000.
Yeah.
So that is why
it's not just, you can't use years of experience to just determine. Some organizations also use how valuable the role is, how difficult the role is, how difficult is it to get someone to do the role.
Exactly.
Like those are factors that affect what person, each person. You can have somebody that is in a role and they've spent 10 years, but according to the market value, they can't earn more than maybe maybe their highest that they can earn maybe 100, I say 100, 500K, 700K. But you have some people just 2 years of experience in that kind of industry or that kind of environment, you are earning like in the millions.
Actually.
So it's just the way of life. All fingers are not equal.
Actually. So because of that, right? When people are recruiting in the banking sector, I'm saying the banking sector because I know that they are very structured and they have bands, and pay brackets. So they will categorize you based on certain elements. Number one is how much you're currently earning. Number two is your years of experience. Sometimes, if you don't give them that, how much you're currently earning, they can just capitalize and give you an offer based on your years of experience. So it is not mandatory to, or you, an employer or a recruiter cannot enforce you to provide a pay slip or your pay details before they give you a job. And whilst the Nigerian labor law says nothing about it, based on best practice and global standards, it is not an enforceable requirement because, again, like we mentioned, it is a data and it's about you providing the information of your current employer before leaving them. And so I just assume that if you need to provide it, you need to just be as generic as possible. What I would recommend is that you provide a range of what you're earning. You could say you're earning between this range brackets, maybe 17 million annually to 19 million annually. So it now, I mean, the HR or the recruiter should now go the extra mile to probably do their own findings, to know what you're earning, what is obtainable, given your level of experience and all of it. So I don't digress so much. If you are applying to the bank, the reason why they will ask you for your pay slip is just so that they can place you on the right grade. And again, I'm not in support.
Are you sure?
Another final, okay, so for me, a final reason why I think people do request for these things is so that they can also gather data. Like I said, okay, I've not said this before, but if you're applying to any of the big fours that sells remuneration data, one of the things that they do, or one of the services some of the big four companies actually provide is the data on salary analytics. So they compile the salary details of people in the oil and gas, people in this financial services, tech, fintech, and all sorts of sectors. And because they sell this information, it is just more like more like an easy peasy, or more like a walk in the park for them to just demand such from candidates during the course of the recruitment. So I don't know if this demand feeds into the data that they collate, because I also know the parts where they do a very robust survey, right?
I think that would be a more sensible way to go about it.
Yeah, so they do a robust survey, and sometimes they could also ask if they're able to see maybe three candidates apply from the same company at the same level, and the salary information they provided is the same. It is enough. Yes, it's quite consistent, and so it would be enough to also incite that this is how much this person's pay at this particular level. So people use it to actually generate compensation analytics. Yeah.
But for me, I don't think using the pay slip as a benchmark I think it's very problematic, because like I mentioned the other time, like it is very difficult to use an employee's current pay slip to benchmark what you're going to be paying them in the now, because a lot of factors can affect like what somebody earns currently. It could be like, maybe it could even be as minute as maybe your negotiating power when you started work. It could be like your level of experience when you started to work.
I agree.
It could be a lot of things. So if you are moving, it will be, if you are using payslip to now benchmark like what we pay people, it's going to be a very huge disservice to people that maybe started. For example, you started as an intern in an organization. You started earning like as an intern. when you move up the scale, maybe your salary doesn't go up as much as it should if you had gone outside of your current environment, because it's very easy for you to get higher, get too much elevation when you are in the same space. But when you go outside, maybe this thing can be different. But because you started as an intern, as you are growing, your growth can be a bit limiting. It might not go as high as it would be. So if you are carrying that kind of payslip or that kind of payment or compensation, and you're looking at going into another company, maybe you've gathered experience, you have the skill, you have the knowledge, you have the level of experience or the skill that is required, but because of what you are currently earning, because of where you were before, it shouldn't be used to benchmark like, because this person was earning 200,000, so we cannot, maybe we can just give this person 250. It's okay. A 50k 50,000, or like maybe 25% increase is just fine for the person. So using that as a benchmark is very problematic, and that's where I stand. Like you said, the labor law doesn't recognize it as an issue, like, okay, asking for it is not mentioned like anywhere that, you are not allowed to.
The labor law is silent.
So recruiters and companies have now used that as an opportunity to blatantly ask or demand. Some people go as far as demand, like if you don't provide it, it's going to be a problem. They go as far as demanding, and I don't think it should be so. People should have the right to protect their own data, their own information.
I agree with you.
You as an organization should have your own structure in place that allows you to pay people as according to what they deserve or according to what the labor market is. There are different ways that you can get like you can check the labor market to see like, okay, what is the payment for this role in this market. There are places that you can check. Several places that you can check. Different online.
Glassdoor.
Even though for Glassdoor, before you are able to access that information, you need to put your own salary.
But I don't
mind, because I want to gain an information. I know that Glassdoor is using it for that data or that information.
But what's the accuracy? Again, because maybe you're an organization, the accuracy of information on Glassdoor might not be accurate, totally accurate.
Yes, you're right. Yes.
Given that sometimes the information might have been outdated, possibly seeing an information from 2013.
Yes.
I mean, such data might not be relevant to you in a 2026, decision-making situation. So, I'm even looking at it holistically from the place of why. So although we already spoke about the why, but I'm trying to put myself in the position of candidates now. Employers are always with the opinion that there has to be equity, there has to be transparency, there has to be fairness. I want to believe that for every recruiter that is reaching out to candidates asking for payslip or asking for their current salary information, they are doing it for a just cause. They are doing it for a fair cause. They are doing it not to influence their decision on hiring. And given that I'm a HR professional, I would understand that sometimes it also helps you to benchmark, to know whether or not you want to proceed with the candidate because you have a budget. But I feel it can be managed.
It shouldn't be used, so it shouldn't be that shouldn't be the sole responsibility of that payslip. Like, okay, you are getting this payslip just to determine like how much you're going to pay this candidate.
Yes, I think we also need to be careful because payslip usually are shared post the recruitment process, maybe at the point of offer and all of that. You've scaled through so many processes and they want to validate your information. But I'm looking at it from that very first instance, that a recruiter will tell you to impute your salary information. It doesn't sit well with me, no matter how we look at it.
Yes.
Because even though you are saying that, you want to know whether or not this candidate fits into the budget, why don't you just share your budget at the point of recruitment?
So the person that feels like, okay, this doesn't align with what I'm currently looking for would definitely not apply.
Will not apply.
That's also transparency.
It's about transparency, exactly. And I also understand that maybe because of your own data privacy, you might not want to also disclose such to your competition. Because it can be dicey.
It's a double-edged sword.
Yes, there are two ways to it. I don't think it's a black and white situation.
Yes,
you can never look at it in that way. You would always have to situate it and know your pros and cons. And know which one outweighs the other. Yeah. One major issue that I've experienced, right, is recruiters, after collecting the payslip, they will still not even conduct maybe like a background check. Yes, a background check with your employer to say that we need you to tell us how much this person was earning. That's a
bit much.
I'm telling you. So they don't stop at just asking you at the point of recruitment. And I'm telling you because I know a company that does that. During recruitment, they ask you, how much are you currently earning? After recruitment, when they're onboarding you, they'll ask you for your pay slip. After receiving your pay slip, they'll still conduct background check.
Maybe they are afraid of like
falsification
of the pay slip.
Of the data. But even at that, you're employing this person and you're already distrusting the person. Can't you just give the person a benefit of doubt? That's my own perception. Yeah. Right, because again, it's the employee is also trusting you as the employer, right, to believe what they have given to you.
Yeah. And so a lot of employees always don't want to even be truthful, like, because an average employee would believe that, okay, somebody that is asking me for how much I earn is definitely because they want to see how much they can pay me. So it's very difficult like we said, it's like a double-edged sword. You as the employer is a double-edged sword for you. You as the employee is the same thing for you, because if you are just truthful and you just open up and say, oh, this is how much I earn, it can, unfortunately, because of some people's not practicing not giving like the best practice, it can affect how much they offer you, even if it's not in the range of what they wanted to offer you before, especially for companies that don't have like actual structure, like actual proper salary structure. So employees are always taken aback or don't want to share that kind of information because understandably it's a bit evasive and it's like a violation of their data. So me personally, both parties need to exercise trust. Like you said, there has to be trust. If you want to have that information, they've given you that information at the point of recruitment. You can see it. You need to, as an employer, you need to be trusting as, okay, this is what was given. If you now believe that there are some numbers that are just ridiculous,
Actually, I was getting to
ridiculous, that you just know that, okay, this is not possible in the industry. Because if you have gotten the right information, like, oh, you know the industry that person is working in, you know maybe the level that they were on, and there is something about like, okay, market average, you know what is going on in that market, especially in the industry. You can find out that information. If somebody is now quoting maybe 10 times of what the market average is, you know that person is a fraudulent employee. And you let it go and you just discard the person, like, okay, this person is not serious.
I agree.
So, but that insisting and imposing or insisting that an employee or a candidate should or must bring a payslip, it can be very dicey, and it can make the employee or candidate start distrusting the company even before they started.
So whilst we've spoken about the recruiters and the employers, this is to call out candidates that are, making it difficult for recruiters to trust other candidates. Yes. And I'm calling this out because I've had a situation where a candidate applied for a customer service representative role. I was interviewing the candidates, at that time, it was around, I would say 2021 or 2020. That was during COVID.
Okay.
And the expectation was this person was going to work remotely, given that companies were, there was this
Pandemic.
there was a pandemic and we're all supposed to be working indoors. We're not supposed to, what they call it, sit at home,
Yes.
right? And given that we were supposed to be working from home and most people were working remotely, I asked this person, how much was your previous pay? She said she had not been paid because she was not working, right? Or she was just a fresh graduate. And I now asked her that, how much is your salary expectation for this role? She told me that her salary expectation was 500,000 because she was recruiting for another role and she got an offer that was paying almost the same thing. And I'm like, really?
Wow.
Like the way she was actually giving me the lies, I was wondering when she was going to end. Because I wanted her to believe that lie so much. I don't know. I just kept on engaging her until she was done talking. But I think it is important for candidates to know that recruiters know this information because they are interviewing other candidates.
Yes.
They are interviewing other candidates. Sometimes they have access to reports, or you never can tell. This recruiter might even be working in, or might have worked in that organization,
or even
that you are working currently.
Or know someone that works in that
your organization. Yes, I've had people reach out to me to say, please, how much are you paying associates at in this your company? Because we have someone we want to give offer to. So whilst I did not disclose, I never can tell who else they would have reached out to disclose such information. So it is important that you stay true to the very end. I've seen on LinkedIn platforms where people do write-ups to say that stay true to what you are earning.
Yeah.
Do not lie about it. Whatever would come to you will actually come to you. And I know this might sound like a motivational talk. It is not.
Aspire to perspire.
We are just saying that let integrity lead.
Yes.
In every conversation that you have. Whether you feel the organization would disqualify you or the organization will want to take advantage of that little salary you're currently earning or not. And this is to say that for recruiters, it is always good to emphasize on what is your expected salary and not what is your current take home.
Yes, it should be on the future, not the past.
So unless it's for a relevant course, I said,
yes.
Your request for a person's pay information or pay slip should not be premised on your decision to hire. It should be premised on a justifiable cause. And a justifiable cause is maybe you wanting to use it for a report or wanting to use it for a benchmarking as to the person's grade if your organization is a structured one. And so,
I think that's going to be all because we've gone through everything.
Exactly.
Just, as a recruiter, take your own. Don't use it for malicious intent.
Exactly.
As the employee, stay true to your numbers. If this is it, give the right information. Don't be dubious
about
Same
it.
party, every party should not be dubious about this information. Yeah, I know it can be very dicey, but honesty always wins.
Honesty always wins.
Yeah.
And to this light, we bring the podcast to an end.
Yay.
Once again, happy International Women's Day to the bold, beautiful, courageous, enigmatic,
this is too much.
super women in the world.
Yes,
we celebrate you.
We're celebrating all of you.
We appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you for
empowering.
Support. Thank you for empowering everyone. Thank you for being an inspiration because women are awesome. The men are awesome too. So don't, in case we have
any support we need from them.
But women are awesome, Sha.
Yes, and from one explorer to another, be bold,
be global,
and be you.